All right, everyone, I'm going to walk you through all the ingredients that you need for my buffalo wings. First off, you're going to need 36 ounces of hot sauce. Now, what I do is I get two 12-ounce bottles of the traditional red pepper sauce and one 12-ounce bottle of the buffalo sauce. Now, the reason why I go with this combination is, for me, it's a flavor thing. You're welcome to experiment and do what you want. I choose Frank's for a couple of reasons. One is Frank's tends to be a little bit more simpler with the ingredients that they use. They don't have a lot of additives or preservatives. Another reason why I use them is because they're everywhere. It's easy to find. Any grocery store carries the Frank's hot sauce. There are some really cool gourmet hot sauces out there, so if you would like to experiment, go ahead and feel free. You're also going to be using 1 cup of butter. You're going to use a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. You're going to use some oregano, dried oregano, and some onion powder. 1 bulb of garlic. Now, I know you're thinking, that is a lot of garlic. Why do I use that much? A, I love garlic. I love putting garlic in anything. It tastes wonderful. And B, you're competing with a lot of other flavors. So in order for the garlic to really come out against the hot sauce that you're using, you need to use a good amount of garlic. And C, keep in mind, you're cooking 5 pounds of chicken here, so you're gonna need a lot of garlic. So for me, 1 bulb should do. I think the amount that I did today was about 16 cloves. And then finally, you need 5 pounds of chicken wings. Now, I like to purchase a 10-pound bag from Costco and use half of it. The reason why I like the Costco wings is they remove the tips for you. Anybody who's eaten wings with the tips attached, you know it's kind of cumbersome. There's 0 meat on it. It's just a sharp thing sticking out. So I like that they remove the tip of the wing for you. And also, the bag, you use half now, and then you can use half a couple of months down the road. Just keep it in the freezer. This bag at Costco will go for about $20. So with that, let's get to work. All right, let's go ahead and get to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to put in a pot on the stove over medium heat. You're going to add the butter first and get it good and melted before you start adding other ingredients. That makes things a little bit easier for the cooking. All right, now that butter is all good and melted, go ahead and add 12 ounces of the hot sauce. Now, I told you that I use 3 bottles, 2 of the traditional red pepper and 1 of the buffalo. So this is where I add the 24 ounces of the traditional red pepper sauce. And if you're cooking this right, as it becomes more aromatic, you will notice your nose hairs curling just a little bit. Every time you open the pot to check on the wings, anytime you open the oven to check on the wings, you should experience a wonderful burning sensation in your sinuses. Give that a good stir. Make sure that's all mixed up really, really good. Once that's all mixed up really good, go ahead and add your Worcestershire sauce. Get that mixed in. Four teaspoons of onion powder. 4 teaspoons of dried oregano. And then your bulb of garlic. Now, I'll normally crush it with my garlic press. Today I minced it just for the sake of experimentation. Now, one thing you're going to need to plan for when you're making these wings is with prep time and cook time, you're looking at about a 4-hour process. So this is something, if you plan on having it, say, at a football game at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to want to get started on these first thing in the morning. Once you get all this mixed up, you want to bring it to a boil. And once it has reached a boil, reduce the heat to low and simmer it for 5 minutes. All right, once that has simmered for 5 minutes, go ahead and take it off the heat. Now, in my slow cooker, I have put my 5 pounds of wings. A lot of people will tell you to thaw it out thoroughly. Since we're going to be cooking these for so long, if there's still a little bit of ice on them, I'm not that worried about it because they will be thoroughly cooked. Don't worry about that. Off camera just now, my family has been complaining that their sinuses are burning. That is a very good sign. That means your wings are coming along nicely. So put your 5 pounds of wings in the slow cooker, and then very, very carefully, because it's hot, drizzle your sauce over your chicken wings. Woo! This is burning the inside of my skull, guys. All right. Oh, I've got a few more spoonfuls of sauce there. I can drizzle onto that. All right, once you got that taken care of, go ahead and put the lid on. Now, the cooking process in the slow cooker is very, very simple. You're going to set it on high for an hour and a half. After it has been cooked on high for an hour and a half, switch it to low and cook it for an hour and a half on low. All right, so my slow cooker timer just went off, so turn your slow cooker off. Oh man, that is a smell that will just, it'll wake you up if you're asleep, I'm telling you. And what you're going to do is just take your wings out, put them on a lined cookie sheet with aluminum. You should be, if it's not already, preheating your oven to 400 degrees. And you're just going to carefully lay out all of these wings on that aluminum. And now you can put them pretty close together. They'll be stacked on top of one another because you've got about 5 pounds worth of wings to get on here. Now, what's been going on in this cooking process is the flavor of that sauce and the spices and everything that you put in there is now inside that meat. So what we're going to do now is bake them. And the recipe used to call for putting the butter in the end. And I found that when you put the butter in the mixture, it puts a really nice crisp on the outside of these wings. And so when the finished product comes out of the oven, before you put that final bit of sauce on them, they're nice and crispy on the outside, but the meat is really tender on the inside and very flavorful. All right, now that those are all laid out nice and everything on there, you're going to put them in the oven for about 30 minutes. Check on them every couple of minutes. Just turn your oven light on. Make sure they're getting good and crispy. Since I didn't stack these on top of one another as much as I normally do, I'm probably going to spread them out a little bit. That might speed up our baking process a little bit. So throw it in the oven, 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, while you're waiting for those to bake, clean out your slow cooker, because you're going to be returning those back to the slow cooker immediately after you pull them out of the oven. Unless you plan on serving them all immediately instead of taking them to a party or something, you're going to need your slow cooker again, and you'll see why. Alright, so my oven just barely went off. Now, when you take these things out, you will know that they are done by the huge force that's going to just knock you over when you open this oven. Woo! That is some peppery fumes right there. So there are your baked wings right there. What you're going to do is, if you plan on taking them with you to, say, a party or tailgating or something like that, go ahead and put them in a crock pot. Unless you plan on serving them immediately, like you have people over or something like that, this I found is the best way to finish the process. So that part is up to you. If they're going to be eaten within, say, the next 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes, then that's fine. You can put them in a serving dish, but I like to put them in my slow cooker. Man, these smell good, guys. I'm not even joking you. I'm so excited for this. Now, there are a couple of schools of thought when it comes to the accompanying dressing that people like to dip these in. I know that some people really like blue cheese dressing, and some people really like the ranch dressing. My wife is team blue cheese, and I am team ranch. So it just depends on what your favorite is, but definitely I would recommend serving it with either of your favorite dressings, and the customary carrot sticks and or celery sticks. Now, in the beginning of this, I told you that I use 36 ounces of hot sauce, 24 ounces for the hot marinating that we do in the slow cooker at first, and then the remaining 12 ounces is what you will put on these wings as your sauce. And I prefer to use the buffalo sauce over the red pepper sauce. I find that it's a little tangier, it's got a little bit of a zing to it, so that's my favorite kind. Like I said, Frank's, you can get it anywhere. If a grocery store doesn't have Frank's, there's something going on. So just go ahead and drizzle that bottle of hot sauce over your wings. Throw the lid on. Set it to keep warm. And there you go. Finished product looks like when you're all done. But those are my wings, guys. 6 years it took me to get this recipe perfected. So for me, these have reached perfection. I'm very happy with these. I hope you are too. Thank you for your attention.